The Evo Car of the Year shootouts are some of my favorite car videos. I love how they bring together all the best cars of the year to find out which is best. So today we're going to assemble the most thrilling, most exciting new cars that everyone wants to have. In real life, you'd be blessed to own any one of these contenders, but since this is Assetto Corsa, let's just get them all. From hybrids to screamers and even an affordable Toyota thrown in the mix, welcome to the Play-by-Ear Car of the Year 2022 edition. We're going to kick things off at number 8 with the Mercedes-Benz AMG SL63. In the original eCOTY, the car that they used was an SL55, but there just didn't seem to be any SL55 mod, so we're just going to stick to the full-fat SL63 version that we have here instead. Both cars use the same 4-litre V8, but the full-fat SL63 has more power. Speaking of full-fat, this car weighs a whopping 1.9 tons. Thankfully though, you do get 577 horsepower, which is able to haul the car to 100 km an hour in just 3.6 seconds. It also has a top speed of 315 km an hour, although I don't imagine you should be doing those kinds of speeds with the top down. Another car that can reach speeds in excess of 300 km an hour is the BMW M4 CSL with the familiar 3-litre straight-six engine, which now produces an incredible 553 horsepower. The regular M4 itself is already very rapid, and this CSL takes it up several notches and makes it almost explosively fast. Out of all the cars here, this car feels the most vicious when accelerating. It's almost like warp speed when you floor it, I guess pretty much like the real car. Grip levels and handling are very confidence-inspiring, and the engine note sounds absolutely on point. Another thing that I love about this car is that you can't see the grills when you're driving it. However, there would be no discussion about how the Audi R8 Performance looks. Seen here in the 4-wheel drive Performance edition, it has the howling, naturally aspirated V10 engine which it shares with the Lamborghini Huracan, and it produces 612 horsepower and does 0 to 100 in just 3.1 seconds. One cool feature this mod has is launch control. Handbrake on, full throttle, and release the handbrake. My lap times in testing this mod were incredibly quick, and I think it's got something to do with the Hypercar Trofeo tires, which are basically slick tires. Nevertheless, still great fun to throw it around the track, if anything than just to listen to the engine make that beautiful noise. One of the most hyped cars in 2022, it's the Porsche GT4 RS. It looks fabulous inside and out, and the sound it makes, well, there are really not many engines that sound better than this flat-six engine at 9,000 RPM. Producing almost 500 horsepower in a mid-engine car that weighs not more than 1400 kilograms, this is a great recipe for a track weapon. This really is my favorite sounding engine of the lot. The BMW and the AMG sounded good, but there's just no comparison. Download it and try it out for yourself. This is the McLaren Artura. It may not look like it, but this car is a little bit of an oddball amongst all the other cars here. It's a V6 hybrid supercar. A few years ago, those three words wouldn't even go together, but as you'll see later on, this isn't the only car with this configuration. The Artura produces almost 700 horsepower and does 0 to 100 kilometers in just 2.6 seconds. Some people have said that this car lacks the visual excitement to match the technological leap forward for McLaren. But perhaps they're keeping all of that for the 720S replacement, which is expected to use the same drivetrain. However, you can be sure that it's going to produce more power than the Artura here. Let's talk about the other V6 hybrid supercar. Only this time we'll be using the GT3 racing version of this car, as I couldn't find any regular 296 GTB versions. Interestingly, McLaren and Ferrari both say that their two latest V6 hybrid supercars don't compete with each other. Perhaps it's got something to do with the Artura having less power compared to the GTB. We don't have that issue here though, because the GT3 actually has less power than the road-going version, as they had to ditch the hybrid system in the race car due to technical regulations. But what a successful GT3 car this has been so far. This car was the first non-German make to win the 24 hours of the Nürburgring in over 21 years, and it looks like this car is just going to dominate the racing scene for now at least. Get a slice of history and get this car from the download links below. Naturally aspirated engine in the front, manual gearbox in the middle, and power to the rear wheels. The GR86 is the replacement for the GT86 and now has a bit more power and better handling. This car is an absolute featherweight, weighing in at just 1,275 kilograms. That's almost 600 kilograms lighter than the SL63 that we tried earlier. On a racetrack, less weight means that you can brake later, carry faster corner speeds, and accelerate out of the bends earlier. You'll really notice this when you drive this car on your favorite track and you need to recalibrate your usual braking points and remind yourself to get on the power earlier than you normally would compared to any other car here. Well, other than the full-on 296 GT3 of course. Easily one of the most enjoyable cars to throw around in real life, and I'm glad to say in Assetto Corsa as well. We've now come to the final car on our list. This is the Maserati MC20, a proper mid-engine supercar with 621 horsepower from a petrol-only twin-turbo V6. It does an incredible 0 to 100 kilometers in just 2.9 seconds. Lots of effort has been put in for door animations as well as mirror folding animations. I can imagine this car would be great for those of you who love to take photos in Assetto Corsa. Either way, this was the car to beat all the other contenders to be crowned the Play by Ear Car of the Year 2022.